Hi, I'm Jason Wapnick, an attorney with Great Lakes Customs Law. And today we're going to be talking about an issue that we frequently get calls about here, and that's when you have property seized or you receive a penalty for failure to declare goods. Failure to declare violation is a violation of Title 19 of United States Code, Section 1497. And essentially what the law requires is for you to report any merchandise that you acquired when you were outside of the United States to customs. The law is actually written so generally that it can require you to report even things that have been in the United States before. But typically, customs is only going to hold you responsible for things that you acquired when you were outside of the country and now you're bringing back or to the United States for the first time. Most people, and the reason for this law is so that customs can ensure that they're collecting duties on anything that is dutiable. So for most people in most circumstances, you have an $800 personal exemption, although that can vary by the types of things you're importing, like alcohol, for instance, or whether or not you're a visitor or a citizen or a permanent resident. It can be lower in those situations. But the requirement is there so that they can collect duty on anything that's over and above whatever your particular exemption amount might be. So if you don't declare the goods and customs finds them, you might be in a lot of trouble. The two things that customs can do if they discover that you've violated the declaration requirement is to seize the goods and to send you a penalty or to issue a penalty to you right there on site. Most of the time, customs will seize the goods and you'll get a notice in the mail that explains to you what your options are to get them back. And we've done videos on the various ways you can respond to a notice from customs. Those include petition, claim, offer and compromise, and things like that. The other thing that customs can do is once they have discovered that you violated the law by not reporting it, so generally this would be after they've searched your bags, questioned you, asked you, where you got these things, why didn't you report them? What they can do is let you keep them if you pay a penalty there. That's called on-site mitigation, and customs will sometimes offer this. It depends on what airport you're coming into or what land border you're crossing at. Probably depends on how much gravity there is to the violation. Was it a minor violation or did you bring in a lot of stuff and try to get it past them so that you could certainly avoid paying duty? Those would be factors that customs might consider as to whether or not they're going to seize your goods right then and there and make you fight to get them back after you receive a notice in the mail, or if they're going to let it slide and just make you pay a penalty. Now, if they do let you pay a penalty there on site and get your goods back, you still may have rights to get that penalty reduced, possibly waived. Generally, I think you'll have about 60 days to file a petition to have whatever on-site penalty you were responsible for mitigated or reduced to a lower amount. But you'll want to reference the paperwork that you got, remember what the officers told you when it happened, and maybe consult with me or another attorney about what your options are to try to get the penalty reduced. Now, if you find yourself in the situation where you had your property seized and then you get a notice of seizure letter in the mail, it's also possible that you will receive a notice of seizure letter and a penalty notice. Usually I only see the notice of seizure letter though, but it is possible that they send you both a notice of seizure and a notice of penalty, but I think the end result is the same, okay? And what you would do in the common situation where you receive only a notice of seizure letter is you would respond. Let's say that filing a petition is what makes the most sense for you. In such a case, you're going to want to make sure that the property that was seized is properly valued by customs. and that Customs isn't giving it too high of a value so that you end up having to pay more duties on it. And you want to make sure that the duty rate is correct. And you can only find that out by making sure that you completely understand, how taxes are charged against imported goods. Everything has a different duty rate. You're going to want to go into aggravating factors and mitigating factors. Mitigating factors are things that make you look better. Aggravating factors are things that make you look worse. In any petition that you file with Customs, and it could be true for an offer in compromise or some other options as well, but any petition you file, Customs is going to look at what aggravating factors and what mitigating factors are present. Hopefully in your case, there's no aggravating factors. Aggravating factors can be things like, you treating the Customs officers poorly, you intentionally hiding the goods, or at least Customs thinking that you intentionally hid the goods in a way that they wouldn't discover so you wouldn't have to pay taxes on it. Mitigating factors are things that make you look good. Maybe this is a first-time violation. Maybe you were very sleepy from your long flight before you were approached by Customs officers who surprised you. Maybe you did fill out a declaration, but it got lost. There's a number of different things that can be considered aggravating factors and a number of different things that can be considered mitigating factors. And it's important to review all of those and put your best foot forward in any response that you file with Customs. Once you've taken steps to try to get your seized property back, let's assume for this video that you filed a petition, Customs is going to issue a decision on that petition. The decision is going to explain whether or not you're getting your property back, and if so, what you need to do in order to get it back. Generally, you're going to be responsible for a couple of things. First, if there was a duty that should have been paid, you're going to have to pay it. And you might have to pay that by filing a formal entry and hiring a licensed customs broker to file a formal entry. A formal entry is just the official paperwork that you present to Customs in order to officially import something. So they may require that you do that because the declaration was missed the first time around. And then on top of any duty payment, you're probably going to be responsible for a penalty. The penalty amount is going to depend on a variety of factors. A little bit too complicated to go into in a video like this, but just know that there's a couple of things that Customs can do to either increase or lower the penalty from whatever maximum amount that they can issue. All in all, by the time you've paid the duty, the penalty, and any other costs associated with getting your property back, it's going to be a little bit painful. Financially, it's going to cost you more money than if you had just came in and declared the property outright and done whatever it was that the government was expecting you to do. So if you haven't got yourself into trouble yet, and you're thinking about whether or not you should declare something when you come into the United States, think again. It's better to declare the goods now and pay whatever duty you might be responsible for than try to get it back after they've seized it. Finally, you're going to have a limited period of time to accept the decision and pay the duty, pay the penalty, and make entry if that's a requirement. You're going to have generally 30 days. Sometimes they'll give you as long as 60 days. Occasionally, they'll give you an extension of time if you have a good reason why you can't meet the initial deadline that they gave you. And oftentimes, you might also be responsible for storage costs or shipping costs to get the property delivered to you if you cannot go pick it up yourself. As I'm sure you've probably figured out by now, if you've had property seized for a failure to declare, or you've had a penalty for a failure to declare, or you might be facing one, we here at Great Lakes Customs Law can help. Customs law is what we do day in and day out, and we can file a petition for you or take other steps necessary to get your property back or to get that penalty reduced or maybe even eliminated. Be sure to check out the additional resources that are below this video. Subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you get alerts when we put out new videos. And go to our website at greatlakescustomslaw.com for all the information that you might need and different ways to contact us. I hope you found the video informative, and let me know in the comment section if there's any topics that you would like to see me address in a video, and I'll see about covering them and see if we can get some more videos up here on YouTube for everybody to watch. I appreciate everybody who watches the videos. I get feedback from it all the time on people who call me by phone and tell me that they found me on YouTube or they found my YouTube's videos very helpful. That's great to hear, and I'd like to keep producing content that people are going to watch, that people are going to like, and thank you.